Good. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. It is a Toxically Masculine Tuesday. I am your host, Mike Barra, in Las Vegas, Nevada, reminding you that this is a strict no faggot zone, so Jay Widener is not going to be with us tonight. I'm joined tonight, as I always am, by the usual crew. The man to my immediate right is an absolute stud, the smartest man on the planet. You cannot spend 4 hours in a car with him without coming away more intelligent. Well, Jay could. Dr. Brooks Agnew, somewhere in the Carolinas. Brooks, how are you doing tonight? And what are you drinking and what's up?
I'm drinking water, so no big deal there. But it was a beautiful day. I got a lot done in the shop. Everything was rolling along nicely. Suburban's ready for the road trip. RX-7's ready for the big motor. We can drop into it now.
Ooh, sweet. What are you going to put in it? Not a rotary, obviously.
No. We're going to put a 450 horsepower LS engine in it.
Brooks, what was the issue with the rotary engine? Why was it ultimately not successful and not as innovative?
It just wasn't very efficient. You had a 4-barrel carburetor, 2 rotors. You could get about 400 horsepower out of it, but it wouldn't hold together. The apex seals would wear out, and
it
it didn't sound sexy. People like that rumbling,
Well, now people drive electric cars that make no fucking noise whatsoever.
No, they don't.
Like, oh, I'm gonna do a burnout.
I have 2 electric trucks in my backyard. No one else has the world.
Electrics suck. That's one of the reasons why they actually banned the turbine cars at the Indianapolis 500 in 1968, because they didn't make any sound. They're like, this sucks. Okay, we're going back. We're going back to 4-cylinder Offenhausers with 1,000 horsepower. The man immediately below, speaking of the Indy 500, the man immediately below Dr. Brooks Agnew in the Hollywood Squares arrangement we have here, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, the owner of the finest strip club in Nashville, Tennessee, the Lickety Split, right there on what's the main road there, Blake?
Broadway.
Yeah, Broadway. Is
Crown Jewel.
Another doctor. In this case, however, he's the doctor of love, Dr. Blake, TV's Blake Wally. Blake, how's it going? The girls aren't going to be there for a couple more hours. With the sun going down later, it's probably quieter at the club until later at night. Right? It's probably quieter in the summer.
Yeah, it's definitely slows down a little bit. It's a Tuesday, but it's still going to be rocking probably after 10 o'clock. So if you guys want to swing by after the show, just mention that and we'll wave the cover for you. So come on by the Lickety Split. Doing well. Great to be here. And I'll be drinking some Elijah Craig's small batch whiskey.
I swear to God, if this Iraqi dinar ever revalues, I really am going to open a club called the Lickety Split in Nashville, and you're going to manage it, and we're going to live large. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, Rumble Rant, and Super Chat, and the last member of the crew here tonight on the list, who got his email early but couldn't find it, and then had to beg for it to be sent again. The most masculine member, the trained killer, and one of my best friends in the world. And some of you should keep that in mind. Steve Doran, former U.S. Marine, former Special Forces, you're just an all-around fucking killer, aren't you, Steve? You're so tough. Steve Doran is so tough that I shot him in the face, and not only did he walk away, it didn't even leave a scar.
Wow.
Oh, no, it left a scar. There's a scar there.
Take a picture of the scar sometime. And I'll autograph it.
I will send you a picture of the scar.
Now that I've been, I'll autograph it for you. So, all right. What are you drinking tonight, Steve? How's it going down there?
I'm drinking in honor of my friend who turns 104 in November.
Mm-hmm.
Every day he takes 2 shots of Dr. Pepper separately, or I'm sorry, a Dr. Pepper with a shot of brandy in it, one between lunch, breakfast and lunch, and the other one sometime in the evening. So I have my own brand of 4-year-old brandy, shot of Doc in,
and he's 100. He's 104. And
he will be
103
and a half.
103 and a half. He will be. That's really amazing. All right. One quick.
But this is the cool part. Drives himself, takes care of himself, takes care of his children who are in their 80s. He does everything on his own.
All right. Well, one thing we are going to do, one thing I want to give you guys a heads up on is tomorrow I'm going to be part of a panel called Justice for David Wilcock. It's going to be hosted by Coley Weber. Here's a little preview. I'm going to be on this panel with
Cyberstalking destroys lives. Hold perpetrators accountable. Report abuse, contact officials, and demand justice now. Take immediate action today to protect victims and hold cyberstalkers accountable. Sign the petition. Makes this a serious federal crime. Sign petitions, report abuse, and contact officials today. Cyberstalking.
So what this is going to be is we are going to do an hour or so. Me and Coley Weber and David Wilcock, and I think Jay Austin's going to be on there, or not David Wilcock, Corey Good and Jay Austin's going to be on there talking about the death of David Wilcock and the people that cyberstalked him and legally harassed him into a state of mind where he was vulnerable. And they are desperately trying to shift the blame off of themselves and onto people like Corey. And whatever else you may think about Corey, I can tell you this: he's a better human being than the people that are attacking him right now. So we are not going to let this go. We are not going to let this drop, and we are going to go forward from here. All right. The top story tonight is Thomas Massey, who has gone on and on and on about the Epstein files. And Blake, I'm going to disagree with you on this. I don't think Thomas Massey gives a flying fuck about the Epstein files or the politicians that are in it. He just wants to make life difficult for Donald Trump because Donald Trump has cut off his gravy train, the money that he's been getting for being a bought and paid for member of Congress. Well, guess what? Turns out Thomas Massey may or may not have a little bit of a sexual harassment problem himself. Let's listen to the witness who describes her time working for Thomas Massey.
Forms or identify any evidence or identify witnesses?
Yeah.
Did you comply with all those requirements?
I did.
And in the course of filling out those documents, did you by any chance list Thomas Massey as a potential witness?
I did, yes.
How did he react to that?
Well, out of courtesy, when I started the process, I called him up to let him know. And he was very angry. And he said, you're just one person, that you can't make a difference, that you need to just walk away. And then he had $5,000 that he said that he would give me if I could just walk away. I didn't take it though.
Wow. Did he offer you a check?
No, he has cash. So it's part of his cow money, right? It's his non-traceable money.
No, wait a minute. You said it's part of his cow money?
Yeah, because he's got cows. He sells cows and gets cash, and he keeps it kind of.
He doesn't report it?
No.
So how did he react when you wouldn't take the money and walk away?
Well, he was very angry at that conversation.
All right. Have you pursued both the ethics complaint and the claim under the Employee Act despite his efforts?
I did. Yes, I did.
Are either or both of them still pending?
Yes.
Are the things you've told me about your complaints to both the ethics committee and for the retaliatory firing contained in those documents that you filed with the government?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that when Thomas Massey handed you or offered you $5,000 in cash that you were the main witness in a federal legal proceeding seeking a remedy for what you believe was an injustice?
Yes.
Has there been any resolution of either one of those proceedings to date?
No.
Have they made any efforts to resolve this with you?
Yes. So I have an offer. It's at the House for approval, but settlement.
What you have an offer of what?
Settlement for $60,000 to settle the case and for the retaliatory discharge and the Congressional Accountability Act violation with the Office of Victoria Sparks. But if I do that, then I have to sign an NDA, and so I can't do that.
Okay, so this young woman basically says that Thomas Massey tried to sleep with her when she was a member of his staff, that she refused, that he got mad at her, that he eventually retaliated and fired her, and now she's speaking out about it and is not willing to say anything about doing his settlement or letting him off the hook or anything like that. So very interesting development in someone who's, yeah, of course he wants the Epstein files released because he's not in them. And that way people won't talk about what's going on with him. So Blake, I'm going to go with you first.
Okay.
Have you heard about this story? Do you think she's got any credibility, and will anything happen because of it is the question.
No, I don't think so at all. I think she's like E. Jean Carroll. She was a former candidate. I think this all reeks of a classic dirty trick maneuver. His primary is next week. They are desperately trying to get him out of Congress. And so this is their play. This is their last mover. They can't let the opponent, I think it's Ed Gallerin or something, he won't even debate. He's a terrible candidate. He's a rubber stamp for basically MAGA. They don't like Massey because he's principled, because he doesn't want to give foreign aid, because he doesn't take money from AIPAC. So they're trying to flush him out just like they did to MTG, just like they came down on Boebert even to get her name off the list to release the Epstein list. So no, they definitely, and Massey's being, his opponents funded by like 3 Zionist billionaires, almost $10 million in this race. So it's purely by like foreign interests trying to buy this seat in Kentucky just to get rid of Massey. So no, this to me is just a total BS, dirty trick to try to destroy him, so that they can take him out next week for the primary.
Okay, Brooks,
I could be wrong.
I disagree with Blake about this. I've always thought that Massey was nothing but a self-aggrandizing opportunist who wanted as much face time and money out of his time in Congress as he could get. He's nothing but an obstructionist of the agenda we're talking about. And I mean, yeah, do we want more Epstein files released? Sure, but it's not the most important thing on my plate right now. But what do you think about these charges? Do you believe them? Do you think they're just trumped up, to use the word? Because let's face facts. A woman can accuse a man of anything, and he's automatically guilty until proven innocent. However, what doesn't work is when some fag dude makes a claim against you that he completely makes up, especially when he's a guy who, like, I don't know, puts out fake alien mummies from Peru and tries to convince people that Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing. It just doesn't have as much credibility as when a woman actually comes forward personally and says it. That doesn't mean she's not lying, which happens all the time. So, Brooks, I don't know. What do you think about this controversy? Do you think Thomas Massey is guilty of this? And if so, shouldn't he just resign from Congress early since he's going to be voted out again?
Wow. Well, I consider myself a fairly good judge of character, but I know a lot of people who really like Thomas Massey because he actually reads the legislation that he's voting on.
Yeah.
And I have trouble with a woman saying, well, he tried to sleep with you. Did you sleep with him? No, I didn't sleep with him. But what self-respecting man doesn't try to sleep with an attractive woman that he's around?
Exactly.
If she says no, that's it. So what?
Yeah.
So what? You don't end a guy's political career because you leaned over the filing cabinet one day with a thong on and he came on to you. I mean, I'm not saying that she dressed inappropriately, but some women don't have to dress inappropriately. They're just ooze sexualness, okay?
Well, I don't think she's one of those. So looking at her, but yeah, still.
Well, you never know. I mean, Massey's no model himself, and you don't know the fat cows he was working around. Maybe she was the best looking one in the office. So it's just
He did have a lot of cows. She did say that he had a cow fund.
I don't think this holds any water at all.
Okay, and I do tend to agree with you on that, but I'm also glad to see it happening. Steve Doran, Steve. I think if Massey had integrity, he'd just resign. Steve Doran, what do you think of this situation? And I'm sure I know you, and I know for a fact you've never been on the Massey side of this because you just don't talk to women in the workplace, which makes you only more attractive.
Absolutely.
Tell us all about it, Steve. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, I see no reason in the world for anyone to ever proposition any female that they work with. That is just absolute suicide. I have never, ever dated anybody that I worked with, never had any relationship with anybody I worked with other than polite during work hours. It just doesn't pay. It's always going to come back and bite you in the butt. So you leave it alone. So he had no good reason, if he did it, to have any kind of a relationship with her other than professional. For two reasons. One is because he's her boss. Two is because he is an elected official and he's supposed to hold a higher standard than the rest of us. And if he's guilty, he didn't do it. The only thing that I see that puts a little bit of doubt in my mind that he didn't do it was that, she's doing this interview. Why not bring the documentation with you that shows that he's trying to make you an offer to shut up?
Yeah. Well, if it's a personal conversation, there is no evidence, but I'll say
it's not a
this
personal
about it.
conversation. She was being interviewed, clearly being interviewed. It was clearly meant for rebroadcast. Well, if you have documentation that he's trying to shut you up, bring that with you and show it on camera. I would.
Well, the thing is that I'm with you guys in the sense that just because a woman says something doesn't mean you should believe her, because 90% of the time she's probably lying about it anyway for her own reasons. But then Massey seems like the kind of guy that would do this, and it's kind of a weird situation where it really is a he said, she said thing. But Steve, I think the key point here is correct. Once you get involved with any woman at your place of business, at your work, where you're working, where you're the owner of the business or something, she becomes the owner. Because guess what? All she has to do is start squawking about it, and you got problems, right, Brooks?
And this is exactly why you don't find women working on Wall Street anymore at all.
Yeah.
It's an all-male club just for this reason.
Yep.
No one is going to hire a woman ever again because of what this woman is doing.
Well, not this woman, but many, 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 many women before her.
Oh, yeah.
Have done it and paved the way and made lots of money off of it. And Stormy Daniels would be a prime example of it. So, Trash Panda, thank you. I'm not posting that, Trash Panda. But the bigger question here is this more about Thomas Massey or some people seem to think the Me Too thing is still going. I don't think anybody gives a shit about Me Too anymore. I don't think anybody pays attention to it. And I don't think most people believe 90% of the stories that come out of women's mouths. Am I wrong? I mean, Blake, what's your thought on Me Too? I think it's been dead for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same impact as much anymore. So yeah, it's kind of petered away.
I mean,
well, look at the sign. I mean, it's pound me too. What are you trying to say?
Hashtag
mixed messages.
Pound me too. That's correct. I'm gonna put.
Well,
that
the reality
in the chat.
is the way the law is. It's so ridiculous because you can have a woman that goes in And they will tell you this. I mean, the lawyers will tell you this. They'll say it's not that you did anything wrong. You did nothing wrong. They will say it's her perception.
Yeah.
This is the perception she has.
Yeah.
Well, how do you defend yourself from a perception?
Right. You can't
do it.
And it's just all fabricated and invented without any evidence. And here's the thing too. There was a story recently, a Fox News guy who used to be on Gutfeld all the time, got kicked off because he asked one of the girls there, one of the production assistants, out for a coffee. He said, I asked her if she wanted to go for a coffee.
Say that again.
He asked the production assistant on Gutfeld if she wanted to go out for a coffee after they got done taping the show. And she reported him and he got kicked off the show. That should be grounds for a lawsuit. That's crazy. So the situation has gotten really ridiculous. A very important toxically masculine issue. Remember, guys, pound me too. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. Moving on to something else. Of course, the next most important thing that happened this past week is we finally got what we were all looking for. We got aliens. And here's an example of some alien stuff that we're going to talk about.
And here on Earth, it's just as mysterious. Here to break it all down for us is a guy that would know if anyone would, Mike Barra, UFO expert. Mike, you must feel vindicated that all this stuff has been released, but yet frustrated because more stuff could be released, right?
Yeah, Brian, absolutely. I mean, this is stuff I've been fighting for 30 years in my own life, and there's many researchers came before me, and everybody probably feeling pretty good today because the fact that the government even put this out says that what we've been talking about, that we've been called crazy for, is a legitimate mystery that needs to be investigated.
Long pause.
Right. So let's take a look at one report, this file, also released in these files, where witnesses described extraterrestrial beings as 3.5 to 4 feet tall, wearing spacesuits and helmets. Mike, that's like a cartoon that we see on Disney or the Jetsons. What do you think about that?
It's like Marvin the Martian or something. It really is extraordinary because it comes right out of the UFO playbook, all of the movies and TV shows that we've ever seen. But look, I've talked to a lot of people. I've investigated cases, and there are a lot of people who've had encounters with beings like this. And in many cases, they don't wear spacesuits. They can survive in our environment, in our atmosphere. And they're about that 3 or 4 feet tall. So it's a very consistent part of the story. It doesn't surprise me that there's reports like that in there because people have been seen and experiencing direct encounters with these beings for a long time.
So, Mike, what's your big takeaway from what we saw today, being that you spent your career doing this? What's the best thing and the most frustrating thing?
The best thing about this is it's time for Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson to sit down and be quiet for a little while. Let those of us who have been right about this for 30, 40, 50, 80 years take the lead and show everybody where this investigation needs to go. And I suspect this is just the very beginning of this entire process.
Good, Mike. Then we got to book you 100 more times. I can't wait for you to be impressed. Then I know we're going to strike gold. Thank you very much, Mike Barra. Meanwhile, that's all we have for tonight.
Right on.
So that was the host of Toxically Masculine Tuesday, Mike Barra, on Fox News on Friday night.
And the crowd
Angle
goes
and Angle
wild.
with Brian Kilmeade, and was later repeated on Fox and Friends on Saturday morning. So, all right, I'm gonna go to the most cynical guy here. They released some files. A lot of them are explainable. One is clearly a blimp, that odd chandelier. They call it the chandelier UFO. Looks like it's a combination of graphics artifacts and the heads-up display reticule tracking what looks like a parachute flare. But then they put out, the last picture they showed there was stuff in the sky over the Apollo, one of the Apollo landing sites. There is quite a bit of this stuff, and it always comes through. That's my work that I've done with Richard Hoagland that we've been working on, and he started back in the mid-1990s. And basically what the Department of War is saying is, we don't know what the hell this is. I do. They're giant glass structures on the moon. But Steve, what do you think about this, and what do you think it means maybe politically moving forward? Is it just a distraction from the Epstein files?
Well, I mean, I think it's a distraction. I mean, nothing on any of those things that were released is earth-shattering. Let's face reality. It's stuff we've been seeing for years and years. Nothing new, nothing, oh my God, look at this. It's all, most of it is explainable. But I mean, a UFO is exactly that. It's an unidentified flying object. In the words of Werner von Braun, the father of NASA, that the government will play the alien card and they will use it to make weapons, control the public, et cetera, and he specifically said, do not believe it. It is a lie.
Okay, so Brooks, what are your thoughts on this? And I'm sorry you didn't get on a show, but we're working on that. Also, I may be appearing on Russian television. They reached out.
Russian television?
RT,
Russian
baby.
television. I will be on with Vlad.
I can do a good Russian accent.
I'd be doing good Russian.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this? And do you think it means anything political?
Well, it could be political, but I really don't think this is anything new. We've seen better than this before. What I want to know, and which if they know anything about this, I want to see the ship. I want to see the technology that supposedly they've reverse engineered. I want to see the anti-gravity drive. I want to see the damn ship. And if they have non-human entities that they call them, I want to see the real thing. I don't want to see these AI generated or these mock-ups that they've done. A lot of the old films that are faked. I want to see the real thing. Go ahead and show us the real thing. It's not gonna ruin the world. Tell the truth, because we're very upset that if there are non-human entities on this earth, that they're only working with governments.
Yeah.
That was going to be my other point, is how come they're not working with multi-billion-dollar corporations? They'd be better off. I mean, the government screws everything up. Why are you dealing only with government personnel? Why aren't you dealing with, like I said, multi-billion-dollar corporations, people like Brooks Agnew, people like
TV's
the
Blake
guy
Wally.
that owns Tesla. Why?
One thing's for sure. I mean, one thing's for sure.
Why do you only deal with the government? That makes no sense.
If they show us and we're convinced it's real, we bring hundreds of millions of people with us because they've been watching us for decades and they know we can't be bullshitted.
Even aliens would know that the government sucks and they can't do anything.
Of course.
Yeah. TV's Blake Wally. What's your opinion on this happening this weekend, right before the weekend? Do you think it leads anywhere important?
No, I think it's just a distraction. And unlike JFK or Epstein, now the UFOs, they're going to release something. And then they give us like the very bare minimum, which isn't really that damning. There's nothing that juicy in it. So it's kind of anticlimactic. And it'll be great. I agree with Steve. I hope that the aliens could circumvent the corrupt government who's going to filter everything and just go directly to the people. I don't know. Is it a violation of intergalactic law? I don't know. Or a violation of the Prime Directive? Why would they work with corrupt governments? I don't know. But I'm ready for the benevolent alien rescue at this point so we can get the truth, because I don't trust any of our officials. I don't care. I think any of the governments. So
good luck with that. Good luck with that benevolent UFO alien rescue.
Right.
There, Blake. I wanted to show you guys one example, and I don't mean to be too bitter here, but whoops. Okay, where are we going? We're going to take Blake off that. Okay, but I was watching a clip, and it had UFO expert Jeremy Corbell. Stephen Greer. I'm like, Stephen Greer is a medical doctor. Jeremy Corbell is a documentary filmmaker. Neither one of them is a UFO expert. And Brooks, it's really irritating because when you look at the video, one of the most played videos is the so-called chandelier UFO video, which I'm going to share now. And I want you to watch this closely because we have a bright group. I know what it is. Brooks, I'm sure, knows what it is, or we'll figure it out in the course of the video. This is the mysterious chandelier UFO video. Let's just watch it for a little bit until we can figure it out. Okay. Okay, zoom up. Okay. Oh, there's something coming out the back of it. There's a string or something. Wonder what that is. Don't know what that is. This is infrared, by the way. That's why the dark.
It's an Etch-a-Sketch.
The dark is hot, and the light is cooler.
I had one of those as a kid. You turn the dial.
Yeah, an Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah. Okay, and very soon here, something's gonna happen. I think that's gonna really. Oh, what's that over there to the left? What's that? That dark blob? What is that? Wow, what the hell happened there? This is really exciting. What's that right there? What is that? Brooks, you know what that is?
Yeah.
It's a parachute flare. It's called a parachute flare. What you're looking at, well, you go ahead. Brooks, go ahead.
Well, this is an infrared artifact that's created when a bright, hot object, the
like
flare, that's being suspended from a parachute, is being followed with the camera. The object actually is not moving. What's happening is the camera lens is moving, and it's making it look like the object is moving, but that is really not an object. That is a infrared artifact that occurs in lenses when you have a very, very bright source.
It's a diffraction artifact,
right?
Yeah, and also there's a tracking reticule. There's a target reticule in the video that is accounting for the odd shape. So, but here's the issue. The government, Steve, I'm going to go to you with this one because that should be obvious to anybody with a brain. Brooks figured it out. I might have taken a little longer to figure it out than Brooks. Fortunately, other people had already looked at it online before I even looked at it. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Why is the government putting out stuff that is, in many cases, readily explainable? There's another picture. I'm going to look for it. I don't think I have it. There's another picture of something that's quite obviously a blimp. I'll try to show that before we get done. Why is the government putting stuff out there that can be explained? And does it go back to my theory that they really want to put this out there, have people stick their necks out, and then cut them off at the knees? What do you think about that theory?
Well, I don't believe that they're trying to get them to stick their necks out and so they can cut their heads off. The government's been doing this for years. When I worked at Los Alamos, there were all kinds of rumors going on that spacecraft were coming in and landing, because when you looked up from Santa Fe up at Los Alamos, it glowed green. It glowed green because of the type of lights they used in the parking lot. They were greenish tint lights. And so people thought,
visitors.
Hey, wild animals are outside. Dogs are going to get them. So they love that. They love when people believe that things are that basically extraterrestrials are causing certain things, or that a particular aircraft or whatever was designed and manufactured by extraterrestrials. And you say, well, it's easily disproved. It's easily disproved if you want to look at it from an intelligent perspective and you want to listen to people like Mike Barra and Brooks Agnew, but most people don't. They want to believe that this is the way it is. I mean, I had not an argument, but one of your big fans got a hold of me and was talking about something that you had said on one of your programs, which I won't go into because I completely disagree with you on it. But he also was talking about the pyramids in Egypt, and that they absolutely had to have been built by alien technology, that there is absolutely no way that human beings could have done that. And I'm like, you're a moron. You're an idiot. So there's millions or billions of people out there like that who want to believe it. They watch some show on TV. They watch Alien Encounters, something like that. Somebody brings it up, and they buy into it. And I'm telling you, they could watch this show tonight, look at that clip that you showed,
and still think it's a UFO.
A parachute flare, and they would say, you guys are lying. You're working for the CIA. You're trying to
I've got that.
Oh yeah.
Disprove that these aliens exist. It's totally an alien encounter.
Okay. All right. So Brooks, I put this picture up on the screen. I know what this is. Tell me what this is, Brooks. I'm pretty sure
that looks like a commercial blimp to me.
A blimp.
Not the Goodyear blimp, but there are commercial blimps that look just like that.
Exactly. And I'm like, so they're putting out blimps. They're putting out all kinds of bizarro stuff like this, and it's so, most of it is so easy to explain. I wonder, is it to make fun? Is it to make fun of Anna Paulina Luna, Tim Burchett? Are they trying to discredit them because they might be onto something? Thank you very much, Roland. That's really cool. They might be onto something. Do you think that's the part of the agenda here, or do they really want to? Does the government really not know what these things are, and they want us to figure it out for them? Which one is it?
This has been the agenda since the 2001 press club meeting that Stephen Greer had.
Mm-hmm.
Blew everybody away. All these government and contractors who stepped forward and gave their testimony of what they witnessed, what they were working with, and they swore that they would testify before Congress. Well, that was in May of 2001. My jaw was on the floor when I saw it live. And I confronted Stephen about this. I said, look, this was a fantastic event that you had. All these people came forward, but nothing has happened since then. It's been 10 years. Nothing has happened. And he was very embarrassed about it. Of course, he still had his deal going. But this is what happens. What happens is the Greers and the Grushes and others in our genre draw these people to them.
Yeah.
They draw them to them. And as soon as they get in their circle, in the Greer, Grush, et cetera, field, they're immediately discredited.
Yeah. And, you've heard the expression, suck the air out of the room. What these guys do is they suck the truth out of the room.
Oh, very good. Very well said. But it's all about new energy. It's all about 0 point. It's all about over unity. Oh, these are words that they use like it's part of their lexicon. It's part of, and I've coached them. Don't use the words over unity. There is no such thing. And this 0 point, I'm so sick of hearing 0 point. And Casimir effect. I know what the Casimir effect. I've done the Casimir effect in the lab. It's very, very tiny, very minuscule. It couldn't power moving a flea's wing. It's nothing. It's a few molecules.
Yeah, and there are some people who suggest that can be amplified, that if everything is a wave and it can be amplified. But that may or may not be true. All right. Well, in 2020, Democrats were headed to a historic crushing defeat to Donald Trump and the Republican Party, and they managed to roll out a fake pandemic called the coronavirus, or COVID, that, of course, allowed them to credibly panic people and push, Trash Panda, you're not wrong about that, and push out masks and social distancing, and most crucially, mail-in ballots that were totally unaccounted for, that could not be, had no chain of custody and verification that they were actually made by a real human being. They were able to seal the presidency for 4 years. They stole many, many, many seats in Congress and the Senate. They stole over and over and over again. And the end result of that was a nightmare that we are still trying to crawl out of. Well, now we're headed to 2024, and the midterms are coming up in November. And Kalshi's betting markets now say the Republicans are going to hold the Senate. I got news for you. They're also going to hold the House because of what we talked about last week, which is these court rulings that basically from the Supreme Court and state Supreme Courts, the Democrats are not going to be able to gerrymander these districts. And it looks like the Republicans may gain 20 to 40 seats in the House in addition to everything else. The Democrats are about 6 months away from being toast as a political party, like forever. Then it'll be MAGA versus the rhinos after that. So, all this against this background, we have a new virus.
Yeah.
Suddenly, there's a new virus
Ooh.
coming up. It's called the hantavirus, which you may remember from X-Files Fight the Future. But this was, I hope this is President Trump talking about the hantavirus.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What do you think about the handling of the hantavirus by the U.S.?
I think
Do you regret withdrawing from the WHO, given that?
No, I'm glad. So we were paying the World Health Organization $500 million a year. Look, it's a lot of money, but in the overall scope, it's not that much, but it's a lot of money. And we weren't being treated well, and they were making the wrong diagnoses. I was the one that said it came from Wuhan. They didn't say that. They refused to say that because they were totally owned by China. So I was saying it came from Wuhan. They didn't want to say that. Now it's turned out, I think it's been conclusive that it came from Wuhan. But I said that on the first day because I saw satellite pictures with body bags all over Wuhan, literally all over Wuhan. So I said that they lied to me or they didn't know. So we were paying for, let's say, 350 million people. We were paying $500 million a year to the World Health Organization. That's a lot of money. What the hell are they going to do with that kind of money? And China was paying $39 million a year for 1.4 billion people. So I said, you got your story wrong because we should be paying about $10 million, not 500 million. And they were willing to negotiate, but it was so popular when I pulled out. They gave us all wrong information. On COVID, they were totally wrong. And I looked today and I saw the same doctor that was there. He's a good politician. I don't know how the hell he got this job, but he was there telling us about this. Now, the one thing with this one is that it's much harder to catch. And we've had it for a long, it's been around for a long time. People are very familiar with it. So, I hope it's fine. All I can do is everything that a president can do, which is actually somewhat limited. But it seems like it is not easy to spread. In fact, it's in certain ways very hard to spread. We've lived with it for years, many years, and we think we're in very good shape. We're very careful. And Nebraska has done a fantastic job. They have a place there that those doctors are unbelievable. The job they've done. Yeah, please.
Okay, so that is the latest on the new plague, the hantavirus. Just to clarify something for everybody. You have a 1 in 30 to 35 million chance of dying from the hantavirus, which is transmitted primarily by rodents through rodent shit, okay? You have a 1 in 6.5 million chance of being struck by lightning and dying that way. So your chances of dying from the hantavirus are roughly 5 times less. Well, it's even more than that because it's geometric. But Brooks, you figure it out. You're the brain.
Well,
is the most ridiculous? Is this not the most ridiculous fucking agenda? And won't people see right through it?
Well, if you noticed, I guess bus drivers
yes,
and people who escort you off the ship are immune because all these people are wearing their hazmat suits.
Yeah.
And they got masks on all the people who were in contact with the other individuals who had the virus or supposedly had the virus. And yet the bus drivers and all the helpers had nothing. And they're enclosed in the bus with all of these people. It's like, oh, it's so dangerous, except it's not dangerous to bus drivers.
Bus drivers are immune. And no, I don't have the hantavirus. I have a little bit of a sinus infection.
And the security guys from the boat there.
Yeah.
Brooks. Well, what a lot of people are passing over is that one of the side effects that's listed in the side effects of the jab is the hantavirus. Once this investigation is done, you're going to find out 100% of the people on this boat that had the hantavirus were jabbers. They had the jab. Now, here's something else. People are having their children babies, 6-7 months old, jabbed with the COVID vaccine. Those babies are then shedding on their babysitters and their nannies.
Mm-hmm.
And their babysitters and nannies are getting sick because they handle these kids all the time.
Yeah.
And the babies slobber on them and have all obviously bodily fluids that they're dealing with. And they're getting sick from handling these babies. It is not coming from rodent shit. It is coming from the jab. And the World Health Organization knows this. They also know the business plan that they had in 2020 worked very well. Nobody could have beaten President Trump in the 2020 election because the economy was too good. And so the World Health Organization smashed the Trump economy. And that's what lost the election.
Yeah, they basically they didn't smash it. They just shut it down. Blake, do you think anybody is going to buy this horse shit the second time around? Besides crazy liberals like Starheel on Twitter. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be that section of the crazy leftists that do want something like that to happen, and their authoritarian fantasies of shoving all of the conservatives onto buses and sending them to COVID camps, or re-education, that kind of thing. So hopefully it won't work the second time around, but they're going to keep running the same playbook until we can say that we're going to stop it. So hopefully Trump will not allow another one of these ridiculous things to happen, especially since we saw what happened the first time around and how much that affected him at the voting polls.
Yeah, it was the excuse they needed to basically shut everything down. All right, gentlemen, I don't really have much of anything else except we probably should talk about a little bit about Iran. It does look like the ceasefire is just about over because President Trump is making a lot of threats and saying a lot of stuff. And Brooks, what they started doing this week was Iran started dumping their oil from their overflowing oil wells. They started dumping it in the Persian Gulf, trying to create an environmental disaster. And so aren't they just giving him an excuse to go in and take Karg Island, which is the primary processing plant where all this is happening? And do you think that's going to happen? Trump, by the way, is in China, on his way to China right now.
Well, I will say unequivocally that right now Iran is of no consequence to the world at all. None. 3 months ago, yes. Now, no. The only thing that matters with Iran is getting the uranium back. We know exactly where it is. We have to make a decision on how we're going to go in and get it out. Russia said, well, we'll take it in. And the United States said, no, we're going to take it first. We need to know where that uranium came from. And that's what they're afraid of. I think Iran is already in the process of being switched back over to Persia, and the Zoroastrians and the Christians and the Persians that are in Iran, they're already in the process of taking the country back over again. I'm going to say it again. Iran is of no consequence to the world at all.
Steve, do you think it's inconsequential? If it's inconsequential, and I understand Brooks's perspective, and I absolutely respect it, but if they're really so inconsequential, why are we still spending so much time, energy, and money on shutting them down? And I don't know, why didn't we just shut them down the first 10 days or something?
Because of the polls, and Trump was getting a lot of bad press over it. Like I said, you go into a fight to win it. They still have uranium there that they can use against the world, so it's not inconsequential. I also do not believe that the Persians are taking over the government. We put those people in a bad position, and regardless of what you think about it, regardless of what your political views are, once you put people in dire straits, you have a moral responsibility to finish the job and save them. You do not continue dealing with the devil. We need to go in, like I said, and completely destroy the old regime, put the Persians in power, get all of the plutonium and nuclear grade items out of there as quickly as possible, and turn it back into a thriving nation like it used to be prior to the first Ayatollah taking it over.
Right on. Right on.
Okay. Blake, you're a big opponent of the Iran war. Seems like it's almost over. I do have to admit that. It seems like it. Would you be satisfied with it being over if being over meant getting rid of the Islamic regime in the next 2 weeks? I mean, is it just about is it a principle thing for you, or is it about specifics and timing and loss of life?
There's a lot to it. Yeah, I wish we had never gotten involved. I wish, hopefully, we can pull out without too much of a catastrophic loss there. I guess it was like.
I'm told your pullout game is excellent, by the
way.
Thank you. Speaking of pulling out, I thought the word is that we tried to get the uranium, and that was where we had the missing pilot. That was a mission that they ran in, tried to smuggle it out, and got caught in an ambush and had to pull out disastrously, and that did not work out well at all. So now we're trying to negotiate in a different way. I don't know if we can conquer them militarily in a way without doing some major devastation of their infrastructure. I don't know if that would be worth it at this point. So it's a tough road, and they're a lot more formidable than we thought. And this is going to be a difficult mission. I wish we could have just gotten China and Russia and NATO on board before we got involved in this. Us trying to do it by ourselves with Israel, I don't like that idea at all. I think this has been very bad. Okay. Now it's time to get out.
Well, I thought you wanted us to do it without Israel for our own reasons.
Right. If that was it, but I don't think there's ever a concern about, worried about Iran's going to get nuclear weapon. It doesn't affect like regular Americans. I think that was.
Well, I do think there's a significant concern there, and I think their missiles can reach Europe, and I think that was a consideration when we gave a shit about the Europeans and they didn't help us, and so. Now, I definitely think there's a realignment going on, and I think that realignment is going to be leave Europe to their own devices, but we're going to make sure that these guys never get a nuke and they never get it on our shore. I think that's clearly part of it, but also completely dominating their oil infrastructure is important because as it stands now, Brooks, price of oil today.
It's about $95. It isn't.
No, at one point it was $60 today.
Yeah, and it isn't the price of oil; it's the price of gas.
Right.
That's what's hurting Americans.
Exactly. And the other reality too is that everybody's coming to us to buy the oil now, and I ultimately think that's what Trump wanted out of this was to basically cut off the British oil supply, the petro. Sterling or whatever you want to call it, that's really been financing the deep state empire. I really do.
Well, he's also, of course, he's going to be in China tomorrow or Thursday, which is tomorrow our time.
Yeah.
He is now in control of a significant portion of China's energy supply.
That's correct. And I just think it's going to be really interesting to watch what kinds of agreements may or may not come out of his trip to China this week. It'll be interesting. It'll give us something to talk about next week. Although, man, the news flies by so fast that by the time we get, stuff happens on Thursday and I've forgotten all about it by the following Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, what about the Chinese spy mayor that had to resign?
The Chinese spy mayor that had to resign. We didn't do that. We got more traitors in our midst. But there is one story, and it may not be wildly relevant, but there are a lot of people, and I know Blake, and not to pick on you, Blake, because I don't mean to be picky on you tonight.
Go ahead.
But there's a lot of people who, for some reason that I can't figure out, have always defended Michael Jackson, and I have I took one look at Michael Jackson in the 80s, and I said that guy's a freak, and he's a child molester, and I will always go back to Rush Limbaugh's famous quote. Do you ever wonder who Michael Jackson thinks is weird? And I think, and so new stuff came out this week about Jackson, where a couple of childhood acquaintances of Jackson, who he hung around with and spent time with, accused him of some very weird, perverted grooming practices, including they claim he wanted to drink their pee. Sounds like something Jay Wagner would do. Anyway, so I'm just kidding. Parody, just kidding. Political parody. And you know, I mean, all you have to do, to my mind, is take one look at this guy, and I think absolute fucking freak, weirdo, creep. I believe everything, but I don't know what other people think, and I want to know what you think about it. Blake, I'll start with you. You know, do you think this guy is misunderstood and being falsely accused for some, you know, geopolitical reason or any other reason, or do you think that he was a weirdo? What do you think?
He's definitely a weirdo. I don't know where you thought I was before. You were going to pick on me because I'm not like a Michael Jackson defender or anything that I'm aware of.
I kind of thought you had said, I think maybe we might cut him a little bit of slack, but
look, Blake, we've seen you do the moonwalk on more than one occasion. Don't even go there.
Well, I respect the guy. Yeah, he was an incredible talent. But I never really got that much into that stuff, taking down the rabbit hole in there. Now, what I can say is that I have looked at a lot of the elite trafficking and, obviously the gate pizza stuff and everything else, the Epstein stuff. One of the great researchers that's out there, I think Liz Crokin, she investigates all of those people. And she actually has gone on record to say that Michael Jackson is innocent.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, she has cleared him and said she tried to find stuff on him and that he actually was an innocent guy caught up in all of this stuff. I don't honestly know.
But he did go to Epstein Island. There are logs of him going there, flying in the Lolita Express, and there's pictures of him on Epstein Island. Granted, he doesn't look happy. Yeah, Liz Crokin is definitely one of those. And I'd like to have Liz on if she'd like to come on and argue about it. But Steve, what do you think? Is Michael Jackson a creepy child molesting weirdo, or is he just a misunderstood eccentric?
Do you want the short answer?
Yes.
I don't give a shit one way or the other. Doesn't matter to me. I don't follow these people. As far as I'm concerned, all of the Hollywood elites and
the
music
king of pop
people are slime.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all.
His dad was slime. Didn't they take advantage of the kids?
What's that?
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't his dad slime, and they took advantage of the success.
Absolutely, his dad was slime.
But was Michael slime?
The only thing that I ever saw in defense of Michael Jackson, where there were several child stars that he used to hang out with, and all of them claimed that he did not molest them, that he actually protected them from other people.
Yeah, people like
the only thing that's the only thing I know about it.
Like Macaulay Culkin, but then Macaulay Culkin did a music video later where he was smearing pizza all over his face.
Well, I'm just telling
pizza,
you.
We all know what pizza means.
See, I don't know because I don't care.
All right, you don't care about Law and Order and Justice, then?
I do care about Law and Order and Justice. I don't care about Hollywood. I mean, first of all, the guy's dead, and it's like, so if he was molesting kids, he can't molest them anymore. Yeah. So what's the point of the argument? There is no point of the argument. He's dead.
All right. Brooks, what do you think?
Well, I love Michael Jackson. I love his music. I love his work ethic. I thought that he was certainly strange, but I think that Hollywood, and especially the music industry, the way it is with Prince and all those forces competing against him, made him weird. And it made him crazy like that. I watched him as a child grow up in that family of talent. And obviously, he had more talent than anybody else in his family. I'm sure there was a lot of pressure from that on him. Well, he had that pigmentation disease where large portions of his body were going white. So he had to cover himself up all the time.
He says that, but I don't believe that's ever been proven.
I've seen that.
Be a white person, and I think he bleached himself because he wanted to be a white person. I've never seen any evidence that he had that disease.
Well, that's
certainly
because
not on any part of his face or anything that we ever saw.
I'm more happy about guys like Spencer Pratt that are kicking Karen Bass's ass right now.
Well, we have a long way to go before the election. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up your Toxically Masculine Tuesday show. I should be back in midday tomorrow, noon or 11, 10, whenever it is. 10 Pacific, 105 Eastern with Jennifer Falah for the Tell the Truth Wednesday show.
I love that show.
And then I got the live stream with Corey Good and Coley UFO and some other folks after that. Jay,
how can anybody be as right as she is all the time? She's brilliant. I love your show.
Oh, Jen? Yeah,
Yeah.
she does a fantastic job. And I'll tell her you said that. She will appreciate that. So, and you'll see you guys back here next week for another fun Toxically Masculine Tuesday. See you then. Oh, I wonder if I have the right video.
Are we going to do the next show shirtless like the that would be wild.
The only one of us that anybody wants to see shirtless is probably Blake.
So,
no.
Yeah.
Blake.
At least Deb wants to see him.
I'll tell you what.
Look at my tan.
We'll start a contest, ladies. If we get $200 in super chats and Rumble Rants next Tuesday, Blake will do the show shirtless the following Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, better work on my
There you go.
tan. Start getting in the gym.
Better start doing your push-ups, buddy. All right, guys. See you later. Have a great one.